Hello, everyone. This is Mark Anthony with Edge on Regenerative Medicine Show. It's a place where we bring you the best of the best doctors, nurses, health practitioners in their niche, helping you. So today I have a special guest with us, Carol Henselman Bender. She is an NP. What is that? That is a nurse practitioner. That's right. She's one of the best in her area. And let me tell you something. You got to check out her website. It's unbelievable. And I'm not just saying that. I've helped people with their websites and branding and stuff like that. But when I saw this website, it literally jumped out on me. You can feel the people on this website. You can feel their presence literally beaming. And I'm not just saying that. So you might want to take a look at that. And if beaming doesn't mean anything, you want to go to joywellnesspartners.com, joywellnesspartners.com. So today we're going to be talking about something called bioidentical, big words over here, hormone replacement therapy, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And a lot of us are probably wondering, what is that $50 word? Is that the same thing as a steroid? Or is it TRT? Is it testosterone? What is it? So anyways, thank you so much, Carol, for being here.
Thank you very much for having me, Mark. It's really an honor.
Awesome. I hope that was a big enough buildup. I'm playing.
Such a humbling opportunity. Yeah, I know. Well, great. Yeah, thank you. That was a question that I asked myself too when I first started hearing about some of my patients that were in the regular traditional medical world, and they were doing some types of implants for hormones, or they were asking for some pills as they were getting older to help them through menopause. And I then learned about BHRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and said I have to learn more about this for myself. So I dove right in. I got my blood work done in preparation for a training that I went to, all about it. And that training taught me that the main hormones that we're evaluating are testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and the thyroid. But it's looking at it from a natural bioidentical way. So that's the real key word. The differentiator is bioidentical, meaning that it's the same exact molecule that your body was producing previously, just obtained from a plant source.
What kind of plant source? Is it just different types of plants that produce that, or is that just a certain type of plant source?
Typically, yam and soy are where testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone are found. And then we get the thyroid replacement bioidentically from usually a pork or a porcine source.
Soy. So you mentioned soy. So is soy good for us? Or is that I've heard so many misnomers on that. You know, when I hear the word soy, I get excited because I come from an islander family. It's rice and soy sauce every day. It's, you know.
Yeah, totally. I don't think that soy is bad for us. It's something that can be really beneficial, but the point of the hormone, like obtaining the hormone from the soy, is nothing to worry about with people that have sensitivities or allergies.
Okay.
Or soy, they're worried about too much, soy causing them to be too feminine or affect their
estrogen,
fertility, right, or estrogen. So yeah, soy has estrogen, but when we take out the molecules and the lab does it, they actually just really extract only the molecule of the hormone at that really micro level. So
just the
only
good
testosterone.
Stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been working with bioidentical hormone replacement? You know, it's so hard for me because I'm so used to just saying TRT, and I'm using these. For me, it's a $50 word. But how long have you been working with testosterone? There we
For
go.
6.5 years in my clinic here in Joy Wellness Partners, San Diego, California, and that's actually the length of time that I've learned the breadth of BHRT. And there's not just one form. Like, I would say many of our patients still use TRT, which is a parallel. It's not wrong at all. It's typically, when people talk about TRT, they're talking about testosterone shots, which are made from a molecule that's not exactly the same as the body, but it's really close and it really does a lot of the same things. And for most people, it can be a very safe option. the bioidentical option is just something that a lot of the natural side of our patient population really look for. They want something that exactly mimics what the body and what their body had been doing previously before it started to decline and they started to get some weight gain and some fatigue and some muscle mass wasn't building anymore. They were sleeping poorly. Those kind of symptoms really are more of the whole body approach that I sense that bioidentical really targets and
Right.
approaches better than just the guy who wants to really build his muscles in the gym and the TRT or build up his sex drive. Those kind of things seem to be very narrow focused TRT, whereas bioidentical tends to really encompass kind of my nurse practitioner style of training of the
Mhm.
holistic experience.
Wow, that's amazing. It's funny as you said, I was thinking in my head, when I think of BHRT in my brain, this is just kind of off the course, but we'll go with it. I kept thinking of Bart, like Bart Simpson. Just, I was like, you know what? That's smart, actually. What if it was BAHRT because it's six in the person's brain? You know what I mean?
Right.
Bart.
Oh my gosh.
I just had to say that. My brain's just like, no, Bart. Like that would stick more in my head. That
Thank you. We should
could use something like
really
that. Bart.
I need to pass that
Anyways,
up to James, please.
hey,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, Bart Simpson pops up and comes back down as you're talking. No
Yep,
pun
yep.
intended. So yeah, I just had to throw that out there. It's killing me. So what would you say are some of the top things that people will notice if they possibly might need hormone replacement therapy, whether man or woman?
Sure. So fatigue is one of the biggest complaints. Weight gain is another big complaint. A lot of times sex drive goes down as people age, and a lot of people will notice that sex drive going down seems to sound like a hormone thing. And we believe that that's something that doesn't have to just go away as you age.
Diminish,
So,
right?
right, right. And additionally, the muscle mass, converting muscle into fat, just like your body seems to just be more, rounded. So you're like, okay, what's in with this belly fat? People also
Mm-hmm.
complain a lot about hot flashes, the women especially, or
Mm,
night sweats. Men will complain of temperature changes too, but women, it's really during the menopausal phases that they deal when they're aging and they're like, 40s, 50s, that they're really feeling hot flashes at night and difficulty getting up in the morning, depression and anxiety, that mental health component. I think that's
emotional,
really
maybe
emotional
okay.
volatility, right?
Hmm.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of just mood swings where people say that they're Jekyll and Hyde and they're just wondering why because they're like maybe it's my hormones and I usually say, well, that's probably a good thing.
Right,
It's nice to attribute a lot of these symptoms to things going on in our body rather than just thinking we're crazy.
right. It's like you can have a husband in the room. You're like, why is she so emotional? I love you. I hate you. You're like, okay, we might need to check your levels, and you too,
Right.
sir. Don't get too
Yes.
happy. You know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
right.
You
That's
guys
right.
are
There's
one. You know what I mean? But
100%.
yeah. So, what are some other effects that you've seen that maybe women are experiencing? How about if I'm going to throw something out there? What if they say man, my legs just feel very heavy. I feel very heavy. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, I was one of those people. So I don't know if it was because of my lifestyle being when I was in my late 20s, I started to notice that it was like heaviness or getting out of bed was difficult to go when I had previously run a triathlon a couple weeks prior, then I was just struggling with this. And I noticed that once I started bioidentical hormone replacement therapy for myself, that I was dealing with no more of that and I felt lighter. It was crazy. It was like and one of those things was thyroid replacement. One of those things was testosterone. And in addition to those things that were going on for me, it was a fertility opportunity for me where I
Hmm.
started to find that my fertility was made possible because of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy.
You mentioned a word, fertility replacement.
Mhm.
What did you mean by that? Does this
Well, I
help
think
with
a lot of
that?
yeah, a lot of people think that hormones and menopause all go hand in hand, that you have to be in your 50s or 60s and
Mhm.
really be aging to, you know, deal with symptoms of hormone imbalance. And for me, it was a refreshment to, at 29 years old, find the answers to my symptoms in a hormone answer. And there was thyroid was low and testosterone was low, and it explained I mean, I'm just getting so personal here because I feel like it helps people.
Mhm.
So I was fracturing bones when I would go and a wave would hit me and a paddleboard would hit me when I was out in the ocean. And I found out that I had really low bone density that was making it more prone for my bones to break. And I didn't want that brittle bone symptom to continue because I was so young and it just gets worse as you age. And that was the training that I learned where the testosterone can build back your bone density about 8%
Wow.
per year. So
Wow.
that's really cool. And nothing else out there in the market that I've researched has that capability.
So, okay, I'm gonna kind of throw on this just a little bit. So, what if you have someone that's a young kid having a hard time growing because he's
Mhm,
small and he's about to, say, lose his growing spurt
mhm,
because there's a
mhm.
window open? Would you say that the TRT creams would be perfect for somebody like that, where it's just kind of like a cream because they're just kids, they don't want no needle poking them. Would you say the creams could help because they have weak bone density normally if they're not growing?
Right, right. Yeah, that's a really good question, and honestly, our naturopathic doctors at our team are more specialized in the pediatric side, so they would usually do a more integrative approach to understanding the underlying cause as to why they're not growing. So recently, one of our naturopaths did a more extensive lab testing workup and found out what's going on between the brain and the body, and is there something
Exactly.
imbalanced there? So we aren't very quick to just throw things out to give people chances to
Yeah,
try.
I agree with you.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
100%. And I'm glad you brought that up. Now, everyone, I just want you to just kind of pay attention here. I A lot of these are not, just talking to the audience, a lot of these questions, we'll have some questions, and I'll sometimes try to throw some stuff out there. I'm not trying to throw any curveball balls out there, people. The reason
Mm-mm.
why is because I have a son who struggles with that.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
and so, I've heard that the creams do help keeping
mhm,
the bone strong because it's got
mhm.
TRT in their creams. But the reason why I'm asking these questions is because you never know who we're going to kind of hit out there in this
Yeah,
land. And I respect the way you said, you know what, hey, this is where my lane is and focus. And
yeah.
just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But with that being said, would you say that, what would you say, from, we'll just say, from 1 to 100, would you say 50% of people in the world are walking with low T,
Yes,
or is that too low or too high?
it's it's probably about 60 to 60% at least of the population.
Mhm.
Looking at the numbers that we see, people over age 30 have a decline in their testosterone. And so if you look at the population living till 80 years old, there's that window of 30 to 80, like about 50
Oh,
years of
wow.
the 80-year-old life where you're not optimized unless you do some interventions to help your hormones.
Oh, wow. So what would you say? I'm just going to have fun here. What would you say the potential benefits of undergoing BART? I mean, BHRT. I
You're gonna coin this. This is
know. I
great.
love this. I'm
So,
like BART.
yeah. Yeah, so the benefits are noticed within a couple weeks to a couple months. People will wake up, they're saying, look at you. They'll say, I don't need my second or third cup of coffee today. I just feel energized. They'll also feel like they can go do a workout
Uh-huh.
and actually enjoy it. They're not fatigued as much. They're feeling like their mental clarity comes back. One of the things that a lot of people report is that their moodiness and just they're like, why did that fire me and make me so irritated?
Wow.
That just goes down. They'll say their anxiety goes down, their
Mhm.
depression goes away,
Oh,
and
wow.
one of the coolest things is like these are the symptoms, but then also they'll go to their doctor and their doctor's like, wait, your blood pressure just got normalized and your cholesterol numbers look better, your blood sugar numbers look better. And the doctors are like, oh, are you on your cholesterol meds and are you doing, like certain things for, your weight and your blood pressure? What are you doing? Less salt? And they're like, sometimes they tell them and sometimes they choose not to tell their doc, but I'm on bioidentical hormone replacement and it's changed my life and it's neat. It's a very cool, holistic way to help the person from the inside out.
I love it. And here's the thing. What I So I love how that just came smoothly off your tongue. You're all bioidentical. I'm thinking in my head, like, we have like stem cells.
Mhm.
Before we had the word stem cells, there were what, mesenchymal cells. That's what they called them.
Right, right.
And so we've got all these different wording. And I noticed that when we have different wordings, it sticks into people's brain and their crawl. And so with that being said, would you say that it helps somebody with a lot of, let's say we had COVID recently. I know we can't say
Mhm.
certain words, but that hit us really hard. A lot of people
Mhm,
had brain
mhm,
fog. I know I had brain fog
mhm.
for like ever. I was like, for the love
Oh,
of mercy. I mean, I'm
oh
working out.
no.
I'm doing this. I'm going to the mountain, going to the
Oh
priest.
my
I'm just
gosh.
joking. I didn't go that
Yeah.
deep. Well, kind of.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
but I noticed that it finally kicked off.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are still struggling with that, and a lot of people are struggling with even hair loss because their hair got thinner
Mhm.
because of what happened with COVID. Would you say that a lot of this would help with like your hair and just the
Yes.
strengthen your bones? And if you can maybe be a little bit more specific on the pros, and then after the pros, let's talk about the cons, because there's always a negative somewhere.
Yes, yes. Okay, great. So post-COVID, there were a lot of individuals with worsening brain fog and worsening mental clarity, and they found that the either they were already our patients and they were already on the hormone replacement, or they sought us out because they thought, well, I'm grasping at straws. What can I do here? And so the ones that were on the hormone replacement were quicker to recover and quicker to feel
Mhm.
better. And the ones that sought us out, they did find that it helped them to remember where they put their keys, and it helped them with those mental clarity concerns that they were really struggling with an answer for. So I think it reduces inflammation and it reduces
Yes.
that post-COVID brain inflammation in a
Mhm.
way, which
Mhm.
I'd love to see the studies like, but I just think that in my gut that that inflammation reduction is one of the big things that testosterone was doing and the hormone combinations was doing for patients.
Well, actually, I believe you're correct. And what a lot of people don't know, maybe you can throw a little bit on this. It's like a two per question. We still got to go to the other one, but we can go to that
Yeah.
later. Sidebar. Um, a lot of people don't realize that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a doctor or nurse practitioner, but a lot of people don't realize that hormone replacement not only makes you feel better, but I'm probably going to be wrong for saying this, but gives you, I believe, a longer lasting life. And the reason why, because it regenerates your
Mhm.
body, regenerates like the liver, and it gives strength. And
Mhm.
some way, somehow, it helps us even with our cholesterol levels. From what I read, I could
Mhm.
be wrong. I don't know. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, that's one of my main goals at the clinic is to help people to use their body's healing capabilities to optimize their lifespan. And one of the things that hormones do is it reduces inflammation in the most natural way. And it takes you back a couple decades in terms of how was your body functioning optimally? Well, probably in your teens and your 20s. You didn't really think about pain. You didn't really think about
You
recovering from an
healed real
injury too
quick.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you slept well and you could
Yeah.
sleep on the weekend. You could go play, like coffee was not really a thing. And so it starts to become that we get these diseases that creep up in our lives, like cancers and heart disease and things that are really sad. And, sometimes we think that they're unavoidable, but hormone replacement has been shown to reduce the risks in studies when people are studying, like a lot of studies have been done in Australia and some studies have been done with my big cohort of providers in bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Sorry, BART. For
Yeah, you got
for
to you got to
yeah,
use that. I mean, hey, Bart, just say it,
exactly.
because you're like
Yeah,
bio
exactly.
Shudabada
I
Honda.
know,
Okay.
I know. It's BART. So that's what we're gonna go
Yeah.
with. And
Yeah.
uh reducing diseases will help you to live longer. So that's kind of how I think it works. And um can I go back to the con question too?
Please, let's do that.
The negatives of bioidentical hormone replacement therapy are most of times due to the dosing and adjusting to the adverse effects of the being too highly dosed. So sometimes that is whiskers or facial hair for a woman that doesn't want that. Other times it'll be the nipple sensitivity or breast tenderness that they might have been used to when they would get their monthly periods. Sorry if
Mhm.
I'm going too
No,
personal. A lot of
no,
these things are,
this is good. This is good because this is about men and women. So, and we
yeah,
we, we want to hit all sectors, even if there's any
yeah.
puppies out there. It's okay.
Right. I'm sure that would be similar for the animals. So
Mhm.
the other like side effects when you have too much of the hormone can be that with women they might get their period back. And that's something that
Mm.
We really work with patients to get the dosing very conservatively started and then work their way up so that they can gradually build up. And also, we work with patients to ensure them to have the guardrails on as they're doing these hormones. So that guardrail includes routine blood work, making sure that their levels are in the optimal range. Because it's probably like everything in life, but many things in life, too much of a good thing isn't really a good thing anymore, and too little of a good thing puts you at risk as well. So there's this sweet spot, and we want to stay in that little happy zone, that sweet spot where we're not getting, like excess. So that excess is where the side effects show up. Let me tell you too, for men, one of their biggest complaints is the fertility reduction of testosterone replacement. Now, that might have been something that you talked on before on just regular TRT, but
Right.
it also is true during BART. It really does. The testicles shrink because the body is getting testosterone from a replacement source, from an external source. And so the body kind of chills out for a little while and doesn't work as hard with the sperm production as well as the
Right.
testosterone production. So over time, that restores to normal when the patient takes off and stops doing the testosterone replacement. And there's also a couple things we can do to adjust, and help them to produce alongside. But we
Hmm.
really want patients to be aware of the things to watch out for. If they're just entering that stage of life, there's another option for them probably than doing testosterone.
I like that. My question to you is, what would you say the numbers are? So let's say I come in your clinic and I'm feeling great. And of course, if I go 1 month without it, or how, depending on, which we haven't gotten to yet, but like what your focus, whether it's injection,
Mhm,
whether it's a cream, whether it's the pellets,
mhm.
um, what would you say? Would you say like 95% of the people normally stay? Because if you have something that's giving you energy, it's building, you're not losing your tone. I wouldn't ever
Mhm.
want to leave it. I'd be like,
Right.
you are my doctor. I'd be like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
does it lower? Do people normally stay? What do you normally see?
Yeah, normally we do see that patients wanna stay with it. We tell patients, "How long do you wanna feel good? How long do you want to have your
Forever.
cup be full?" So, that's it's their choice,
Hmm.
and we're here for them. I also love that we have our naturopathic doctor here who is an expert in both the replacement as well as some of the more supplements and the vitamins that she just did her whole schooling and learned all of them that can help people with things that aren't just the cream or the pill or the pellet. Mhm.
And what do you guys
Or the shots.
provide? What do you
Yeah.
guys do? The cream? Do you guys do all that, or would you say your main
Yeah.
focus is?
Right. So our focus is getting the patient to be optimal, and there are patients that come to us with a specific lifestyle, and we try to serve that lifestyle to the best of our ability. So we don't expect a patient to only want to do a cream or a pellet or a shot. We say, here's your options, it's your menu. And these are
Hmm.
the ways that the pellets or the shots or the creams have pros and cons, and go ahead and pick what works for you. And different seasons of life, people switch from different modes to another. One of the coolest things about the pellets that makes it unique is that you only have to actually really think about it, do a procedure twice a year or 4 times a year for a woman. Cream, it's everyday application at home on your own, and shots is maybe once or twice a week. Then the pills are for certain hormones only, and those are usually required daily, regardless, of what other methods you use for the pellets or the creams. So that's one of the biggest differences is just what style are you? Are you a person that loves the micromanaging control? Or are you a person that's like, take care of me and I don't want to have to think about it and worry that I did something wrong and just let the doctor handle it. I'll come and see you twice, 4 times a year, and you've got me under control. So it's really cool to see that. I'd say with the fertility thing, there's that special group of people that want to work around their fertility. So something like a pellet where it's in there for 6 months might not be optimal for them.
Hmm.
Or a patient that is going on a trip, internationally for 6 months, they're like, that is what I need because nobody's
I
gonna worry
love that.
about it.
Your
Yeah.
concierge, basically. You have a
Yes.
con this. I love that. So my question to you would be, if you had to choose just for you, you're not speaking for anybody else,
Mhm.
which one would you choose and why? Would it be the pellet? Would it be the cream or the injection?
Yes, my favorite is the pellet, and I can say that pretty clearly. It's a great question. My favorite is the pellet because It is a steady release every day, and
Wow.
it's a steady release every day, but it will respond to your body's actions of the day. If you're really active, you go to the gym, there's more blood flow around the body, it's gonna distribute a little bit more of that pellet, and so you're gonna feel a little burst of energy as you're working out, and that's the only one that really does that. So it kind of mimics your body, but it's also releasing steadily all the time. And I like it because it is something you don't have to stress about and think about, and just one more thing to add to your list of things to remember. The cream would be my second favorite choice because it's bioidentical and it's similar to, like, physiologically releasing throughout the day. But I hope that's not too detailed, but I really think that patients will try both, and there's reasons to switch from one to the other. So yeah.
Right. Basically, it's depending on the person's personality, what they do for a
Hmm.
living, and
Uh-huh.
so would you
Yeah.
say you have more women that you see, or would you say you see 50% men, 30%
It's
men?
time and time again, it's 50-50. So
Wow.
there's a lot of in our San Diego community, a lot of active individuals that want optimal wellness,
Yes, they
and
do.
they want to feel their best. They want to be outside. They want to enjoy the beautiful nature and the lifestyle that San Diego offers. And there's a military community, there's a veteran community, there's just a lot of young people also moving here. So people that have like a lot of education in healthcare. I think that we really see a lot of people of male and female population. And what we love is that the man will come and then bring his wife, or the wife, probably that's more often. The wife comes and then she brings her husband. That's
Then
probably the
they're
more
both.
realistic.
Then I bet you one person thought they were going to do it. Now both of them.
Yes, exactly. Uh-huh. They want to both, feel great and, enjoy night and day the same.
Exactly, especially in San Diego. I'm from Monterey, California, so I know
Oh,
it's
cool.
beautiful in San Diego.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I love it there.
it's funny. I remember I was driving to trying to get to Disneyland years ago. This is like a decade and a half ago. And I was driving and I took the wrong street. I went right into Mexico. I'm like, oh my gosh. I look the part, but I don't speak anything. Oh my God. I was so scared. And I was on E. It's like, really? I got people knocking on my doors. I'm like, no.
Oh,
Anyways, that's bad.
that's so real.
That's the
Yeah,
truth
I
though.
know where you are.
It's like, how
Yeah.
the heck did I take that wrong exit? That doesn't look like Marine World. Well, anyways, um, so
Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's so cool.
so the next question would be, what really are the I mean, I don't understand how there could be a bad side effect
Mhm,
unless someone's getting their stuff off on the market on the internet from someone they don't know,
mhm,
which is a
mhm,
no-no out there,
mhm.
guys, gals.
Yep.
Don't, because it's cheaper. It doesn't mean you want to go with them. We all know
Mhm,
about the Nike shoe. I'd rather have the Nike. I don't want the Pro Wings from Payless. Give me the Nike
mhm.
shoe. You're worth it. A lot of people are going out there and they're buying the cheaper stuff. But with you, they get an actual nurse practitioner who understands, looks at your levels, and not just looks at your levels, but how often do you look at the levels to make sure where they're supposed to be, to making sure they're being optimized.
Sure, that's a really good point. And the labs are checked before patients do their replacement, and then at 6 weeks after they've taken a step in one direction or another, and then annually thereafter. If there's a patient that has a change in any way or another, wants to
Mhm.
check, we also do those labs as a complimentary offer for them. Mhm.
Okay, wow. Because I'm here. I've heard a lot of people buying stuff like online for like inexpensive, and they don't even know what they're getting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't
We
understand why. I'd be scared to do that.
Right. When it's something you're putting in your body, you wanna have the best quality, and the patients that come to us, they're also trying to reduce the number of prescription medications that they're on, and they want the least chemicals in them, so they want the purest form. And with our pellets and our creams, we really have the percent purity of the highest grade in the country.
Okay, I got to throw this out there. So I asked this one doctor, and he does TRT, and I said to him, the main reason why I didn't want to do TRT because I didn't want to lose my hair, because I heard that a lot of
Uh-huh.
people that take TRT, again, I heard,
Yes.
didn't, and I got to be careful with my research because where are you
Mm.
researching? If you're researching on
Mhm.
Google,
Mhm.
you're gonna be like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I've got this problem. You don't. So he was telling me, he goes,
Yes.
well, it's an interesting question. He goes, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, look at Sylvester Stallone. They're the biggest intaker of
Mhm.
TRT.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you ever had
Right.
people ask you those questions like, will I like them in, will I lose my hair because I'm
Yes. Oh, yeah, and that's something that I should have mentioned under the list. It's very possible that with too high of a dose and not keeping those guardrails on, that hair thinning can occur. So, sometimes it's just literally because the hair follicles are coming new, and they're pushing out the old thin hair and pushing up new thick hair, which
oh
is a
wow.
really good thing, but sometimes it's more of the DHT. That's getting sciencey here, but the testosterone can convert in healthy pathways or it can convert to DHT,
Oh
which is an
wow.
unhealthy pathway. So it could be your genetic makeup that makes you convert more likely than others.
Wow.
And we can work with you on that. We can test
I
that in the
like
blood or
that.
we can treat that. So we can really keep that bowling ball going down the alley where it becomes free testosterone and then works in all the magic ways you want it to.
Man, they're really pushing that HT in there. Huh? Just call it Dart. You'll be fine. Anyways, I'm bad. I'm all Bart and Dart. Anyways, I think because we remember things so simply, simple. And
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
my
no.
brain, and plus I'm a musician, so you're always trying to
Oh
you say
yeah.
things a little bit different. I have another good question for you. How do you stay updated with the latest research and advancements on VHRT?
Yeah. Well, I can say I'm blessed now. I have a team of providers that go to multiple trainings throughout the year and come back and inform us on the latest research. So I go beyond what I can do in a day and have them come and educate me.
I love that.
AA4M, BioT, there's some really, really great provider conferences out there.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say, your opinion, of course, you're saying you like the most are um, the pellets
Pellets.
because they're twice a year and forget about it.
Yeah.
Um, would what would you say to somebody that's on the fence? Like they're just not sure. They've read so much about information on Dr. Google and they're stuck and they're probably listening to it right now. What would you say to them? And how would it look like if they were to call you and schedule an appointment in your office?
Well, that's a huge opportunity. My awesome team is so kind and caring when they answer the phone and when they schedule you that you might just feel like all your anxieties are left at the door because you're finally talking to a real person who just wants you to feel great and cares about you as a person. So it's very personal. It's my mother is the one who answers the phone most of the time. So you have this connection and she uses the hormones herself and it's changed her life and it's just neat because she can sit there and talk to you all day long. She's remote, so she doesn't have to answer to the people in the clinic, and that's a huge thing. Just call and talk to Betty. We
I
hear it all the
love it.
time. Betty, talk to me. So you don't have to do anything. Betty will just listen, and you can make your decision. But say you talk to her, and she makes you an appointment, and you come in. It's a simple blood test, and then you can find out your answers. And again, we just had Wellness Week, and we had 27 new people just sign up for their blood work during the 4 days that we were
Mhm.
offering Wellness Week because they heard from their friends and their friends brought them in and they said, I'm feeling great. I'd love for you to come and play tennis with me every day, come and do this. So it's really a
Wow.
nice thing to be informed about your hormones and you can choose what you want to do. You can choose to just have that baseline and then take it and have that knowledge. But I think it's something like when primary care offices
Mhm.
or your traditional annual exams, I wish it was included in that. I just think it's that important that really like your cholesterol's checked and like you do your colonoscopies when you get older. I think that hormone testing should be something that is done by everyone as they get older.
Well, so I have a big question, and it's of course I call it the pink elephant in the room. Do you guys take
Mhm.
insurance?
Great question, and unfortunately, we don't. The insurance model doesn't always support all of the holistic way we try to provide our care. Doesn't always cover these products that we really feel. I think it's partly because they're all natural and they aren't patentable, so it's a little bit tricky for them to get under the drug creation process
Mhm.
of the FDA. But they are FDA regulated and they're very investigated and all that. So that was a side note, but no, we don't take insurance.
And that's
We
okay
take
because we know that normally
right.
we know that normally they don't take insurance. And
Mhm,
so
mhm.
and I kind of like this. This makes me happy because I'm not a doctor or anything or a physician, so I can say this. Everyone out there, I want to let you guys know something. Just because the insurance doesn't take it, you're worth it. I want you all to picture this. I love Mustangs. I want to get a 66 Mustang or a 1970 Mach 1. Okay. So if you, let's say you bought a 1970 Mach 1 back in 1970 and you never changed the spark plugs, the car's not going to run like it ran in 1970. Your body is a car. You're actually worth more than that. That 1970 Mach's worth about 100 grand. My point I'm trying to say is you're worth more than that. And normally the things that aren't on the insurance that people provide normally work better. And I'm a patient of that. You're worth it. I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. You are worth it. Don't go the cheaper route. Oh, well, they said, well, maybe do this and they're going to give me this pill. Stay away, because once they give you the pills, guys, they will give you another pill to another pill to another pill to another pill until you are. Anyways, I just have to throw that out there. That's just my my truth, and I feel like people just need to hear this more. So, anyways.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you. You did the work for me.
And here's the thing, my friends out there in internet land, Carol, there's people that you meet in this world, in this life. You could tell if they're good people. She's beaming. I mean, if you're listening to her on the radio, go check it out on YouTube. She's beaming. I was telling Carol that when I went and looked at her website, everybody is beaming just like Carol. You see that everybody wants to help. That is rare these days. They're not going to go in there, give you a pill for another pill to cover for a pill of another pill. And then, you're all jacked up. You're more important, my friends. But again, I just want to say thank you so much, Carol, for being on our show. We are going to have a part 2. Carol doesn't know this, but we're going to have a part 2. I'm going to have my awesome wife talk to Carol and have her on the show. Hopefully, I'm throwing it out there live right now. Have her on the show, both of you, because let me tell you something. The best people to ask about hormones is another lady. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, Carol. And if you can let us know where you are at in San Diego, and also your phone number and your web address, please.
Well, thank you, Mark, so much. And your wife sounds awesome. Let's talk. The address is 3333 Camino del Rio South, Suite 205, San Diego, California, 92108 in Mission Valley. And our phone number is 858-609-0866. That's 858-609-0866. And our website is joywellnesspartners.com.
You did a great job. Awesome job. And thank you so much for being here. Everyone out there in Interland, make sure you share this. Why do you want to share this? Because you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking of others. When you start thinking of others and helping other people, that's when your life actually starts to change. God bless you all. And thank you so much, Carol. Blessings upon your business. And
God bless you.
Hearing from you again.
Thank you, Mark. God bless you.
You.